Decision day in New Hampshire, where Republicans are voting for the person that they hope will challenge Barack Obama in November's presidential election. The frontrunner, Mitt Romney, is widely expected to claim victory. Alan Fisher's live at a place called Manchester, which is in New Hampshire. Alan, some polls have just come out. They show that Barack Obama's still leading in any presidential race. But Mitt Romney's increased his support, up from around about 18% to 30%. So it makes good reading for Romney, but not necessarily for the Republicans.
Well, everyone here expects Mitt Romney to win. The big question will be just how much he wins. Over 15%, and that's a win as expected. Under 15%, and then people will start asking questions about Romney. But he does have history on his side because, of course, no candidate for the Republican Party in modern times has won the first two contests. We know he won Iowa, only by 8 votes, but he won Iowa, and he's likely to win here. So he now goes to South Carolina with massive momentum, if that's the case. And everyone here will be looking at who finishes in second place. Certainly Mitt Romney knows that if he goes to the general election against Barack Obama in November, he will face a lot of criticism, a lot of negative ads from the Democratic side. Perhaps what he didn't expect was just how much he would get in this process from his Republican rivals. And certainly that's what's been happening over the last few hours as the polls here in New Hampshire opened. Well, of course, the message that the Republicans will put forward when you see such huge income gaps is, look, listen to me, follow my policies and my proposals, and you can be as rich as I am. And certainly that's the message that they're trying to put out. Now, we see social mobility in the US is less than the United States, less than in Europe, which means those on the lower income are less likely to get into the higher income brackets. But still, everyone buys into the American dream that they could be the next millionaire, they could be the next success story. And that's the dream that the Republicans are selling when they go out and they speak to ordinary people in Iowa and New Hampshire, and as we'll see in the next couple of weeks in South Carolina. Joining me now is Brad Marston, who's a Republican operative here in New Hampshire. Brad, thanks very much indeed for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure.
The Republicans are beating each other's brains out. This is a gift to the Democrats because you're being so nasty to one another.
I don't think it's really anything different. I mean, Hillary Clinton ran the "Are you ready?" for that 3 o'clock phone call ad against Barack Obama. That didn't knock him out. I think all the campaigns were anticipating negative ads against them. I think it was 1964 in the Goldwater Daisy ad that was the last time any particular television ad was going to seriously damage a presidential candidacy.
So if Mitt Romney does win the nomination, all these things that all the other candidates have been saying in the debates and in the ads, you think the public will just forget them? Because the Democrats are going to drag them up every time, aren't they?
Oh, sure they are. And are they going to forget them? No. But, I mean, there are so many more media outlets, the web, etc. There's so many different places to get your information that I don't think any particular ad, web video is going to be damaging. Honestly, I think the more damage was done to Romney by Romney yesterday with his what's being spun as the "I like to fire people" quote. That's going to come back probably before South Carolina, before Florida, and definitely going to come up if he is the nominee come this fall.
What are the chances are that he'll be the nominee? Because he won Iowa, albeit by 8 votes, and it's almost certain he's going to win here. His lead might get chopped, but he is going to win.
Well, you were mentioning earlier in one of your intros that it's how much does he win by. In answer to your question, I'd say clearly he is the odds-on favorite. I think one of the things people are forgetting about is that the Republican Party has changed the rules this time. In the past, it's always been winner take all. If you won New Hampshire with 35% of the vote, you got 100% of the delegates. That's not true this time. From now until April 1st, we're allocating our delegates on a proportional basis. That makes it that much harder to score an early knockout. If I was advising a second-tier candidate, I'd be looking at the caucuses that can be won with volunteer organization, volunteer effort, and just doing enough to stay in the game and hope that Romney, as the front-runner, stumbles.
A new poll out just in the last few hours, Brad, says that if you put Mitt Romney up against Barack Obama wins the general election by 5 points. Why bother with all this? Why not just hand him the presidency now?
Well, because by the same token, the polling at the same time 4 years ago, you had no Republican over 20%, and you had Clinton beating the generic Republican by 10. She didn't even make it to the general election. It's a messy process here in the States, but it's one we've kind of grown accustomed to and kind of like.
So who's likely to come second then tonight?
Tonight, it's going to be Ron Paul, without a doubt.
And John Huntsman's put all his time, all his effort into New Hampshire. Is this where it ends for him as well?
I think so. I'm guessing he's going to finish fourth, but even with a surprising third, he's gone all in, and it's like Texas Hold'em. You go all in and end up with the third best hand. You end up shaking people's hand and watching the rest of the race from the sideline.
Finally, Brad, are you getting frustrated with the infighting in the Republican Party, or is this making your candidate stronger?
I think ultimately it does. The debate the other night, I think it was ABC, they might as well, the moderators might have said, we're going to ask, gentlemen, we're going to ask you questions for the next 90 minutes to help Barack Obama and his campaign team open up lines of attack for September and October. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and that's sort of the heart of American politics.
Brad, thanks very much indeed for joining us live here in New
Absolutely.
Hampshire. Hope you have a good night. So it's going to be an interesting few hours here. The polls are open until 7 p.m. local time, which is another 6 hours. And in that time, the candidates will be urging everyone they can to get out and vote, put the cross next to their name on the ballot, hoping that they can surprise everyone with the final result. But it does look as if Mitt Romney is going to win in New Hampshire. The big question is by how much and who comes second and third. They are going to be very important in this process.
A very neutral tie, Alan. We appreciate that. Thank you very much indeed. Alan Fisher in New Hampshire. For more on the US election,